Hola YouTube y a todos que están aquí viendo mi canal. Y para ustedes que no era su intención llegar aquí, pero se encuentran aquí en mi canal, bueno, gracias, bienvenidos y acompáñame. Que tengo, bueno, aquí estoy para mi nuevo video que es parte de mi serie Movie Collections Update para el mes de junio. Y creo que ya eran hace 2 o 3 semanas desde que puse mi último video. Y bueno, creo que eran solamente 2 o 3 semanas. Tal vez serán más ya ahora, no estoy seguro. Y bueno, aquí tengo otra nueva colección de películas que acabo de ver y voy a compartir con ustedes. Ok, so aquí estamos y vamos a comenzar. Yeah, I got you guys. I hope I did at least. Anyway, like I said, if you understood my Spanish, well then you basically know what I'm about to get into anyway. So here's my new movie collections update video for the month of June. Little thing that I want to point out is that I'm wearing, this white shirt with the blue collar rim on it, but the actual video I'm wearing a different shirt because I've actually recorded this video before, and I'm looking at it again. I didn't like the introduction that I started out with, so I kind of am doing the introduction again. So this is basically what it is. So you can have me wearing 2 different shirts, but anyway, I don't care. It's my movie collections update video, so whatever. Alright, anyway guys, enjoy, and I'll see you, I guess, towards the end maybe, or I'm just gonna continue from there. I have no idea. And the first one that I have to show you basically is Godzilla Raids Again. Alright, I believe this is the second Godzilla movie that ever came out after the original 1954 Godzilla movie. I believe it's 1954. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that I'm not. Anyway, so this is basically, you can consider the sequel to that original Godzilla movie, and Godzilla still plays the enemy, and the only difference of course is that he actually takes on another monster here in the form of Anguirus, which is basically the porcupine-ish monster that Godzilla, you usually see in other Godzilla films. The one thing that I like about this movie is basically the portrayal of Anguirus. Basically here he's no holds bar, basically goes into a fight, and pretty much stands toe to toe against Godzilla, where in later movies, when you end up seeing Anguirus, the same monster, you kind of see him as pretty much like the underdog. He always gets beat up in a lot of other monster movies. But in this one, it's the first time and the only time where you actually see Anguirus pretty much put up a good fight, especially against Godzilla. And I mean, this is again one of those classic original Godzilla movies that came out years ago. It's in black and white, and this one is fully digitally remastered, so it's got both the Japanese and the English audio. So that's pretty cool. And again, I love this movie. The first time I saw it, I had to get it again, remastered on DVD, because my original version came on VHS. So we all know how VHS was back then. So Godzilla Raids Again. For those of you that love Godzilla, definitely should add this to your collections. Alright, the next movie that I have to show you also is from the Godzilla collection, and it is The Terror of Mechagodzilla, also on DVD. Now, I believe this is the last Godzilla movie that came out during the Showa era of Godzilla films in Japan. And it is the sequel, well, maybe not sequel, but the second time that Mechagodzilla appears in a Godzilla film, and he goes toe-to-toe against Godzilla himself. And in addition to, Mechagodzilla and Godzilla, there's an additional monster, which is the Titanosaurus, which teams up with Mechagodzilla to go up against Godzilla, which is kind of like a bit of a reversal from the original, or the first time that we are introduced to Mechagodzilla in a Godzilla movie, which is basically, I believe it was basically called Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. And in that one, what was different compared to this one is that Godzilla actually teams up with another monster called King Caesar to take on Mechagodzilla. So it's kind of interesting that they do the reverse in this film to kind of pit Godzilla as a loner going up against 2 other monsters. And again, another one of my favorites that I've seen, I don't know how many times when I was young, and I just ate it up because, and plus I just love this original Mechagodzilla design, and the last one that came out from Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. I mean, I love those 2 Mechagodzilla designs. The one in between was that there was another Mechagodzilla that came out, after this one, but before the last one, that, again, it looked very muscular, but I really didn't like the way that looked. So, original and the final versions were my favorite in terms of design of Mechagodzilla. But this one, all in all, it's just a fun flick. Godzilla goes all out, destroying two monsters. Who doesn't like that? You know, honestly, who doesn't like, you know, a big kaiju battle in the middle of Japan, just destroying everything as, you know, these monsters destroy themselves. You know, a lot of fun. So definitely another one that you guys out there who are Godzilla fans should add to your collections if you can find it. I know these are kind of rare. You might only find them in, you know, smaller video shops. Like I mean, I actually found this one, the other one, at an FYE that still happens to still be in existence, you know, near where I live. So I just happened to find these and I said, ooh, taking that, you know. So definitely Terra Mega Godzilla. A lot of fun, people, a lot of fun. So the next movie that I had to show you, basically now we're moving on to the Blu-rays now that I had to show you for, you know, today's video. And it is The Great Escape with Steve McQueen, James Gardner, Richard Attenborough, David McCullum, and Charles Bronson. Yeah, there are a lot of actors in this one, you know. So I believe the first time that I saw this movie, I only caught it from the moment where they were actually trying to escape through the tunnels out of the prison. And I remember thinking that was probably, like, you know, the most interesting aspect of the entire film. At that point, the first time that I saw it, was the fact that, you know, they dug underground. You know, they had this little trolley pulley system going underneath. They had all these lamps there. They were, you know, punching. You know, they were pumping air into the shaft to make sure everyone could breathe. I just thought it was so ingenious, you know, how they managed to construct this tunnel to escape, and just how they elaborated the whole thing, you know, how they covered it up so that basically the Nazis wouldn't be able to find out that they were digging the tunnels and all that, you know. And then I remember, you know, after watching it a couple of months ago, I saw it on cable again from the beginning, and I just began to realize that there was so much more happening in this film, just beyond just the tunnel digging and the escape. I mean, there's so much character development, you know, in terms of just who these characters were, how they interacted with each other, how they depended on each other. Again, that male camaraderie, you know, even though, you know, they were stuck in this dire situation of being imprisoned by the Nazis, but yet they were still, you know, banding together to, you know, to put out this plan to form this tunnel, and all the different methods to try to get rid of the dirt that they were digging out of the tunnels, and just spreading it all over the camp. I mean, it was just fantastic. It was amazing. You know, and when I found out that it was coming out on Blu-ray, I said, yes, I have to get this movie. And luckily, you know, one of those days when I went to go do my shopping, you know, I found it there, and I said, yep, it's coming home with me. So again, this is just a great film all around, you know, and there are a lot of actors in here that, you know, you probably recognize them now that they're older. But, you know, seeing them here, you can still recognize them in there, and just seeing what they did here, and, you know, everything just comes together so nicely. And the fact that it's based on a true event just makes it that much more interesting. That, you know, these captives basically came together this way, you know, and did this plan, and it worked for the most part, you know. So for those of you that haven't seen it, I'm trying my best not to give away too much, you know. But again, in my overall excitement of trying to explain how much I love this movie, you know, hopefully, you know, I was able to keep things at bay so that you guys can check it out too. So definitely check out The Great Escape, you know. Great one to add to your collection. The next film that I have to show you is Jason Bateman and Melissa McCarthy, An Identity Thief. And I remember watching this film, you know, in theaters, and, you know, saying to myself, I enjoyed Melissa McCarthy when I first saw her in Bridesmaid, and I thought she was a riot there. And now seeing her here in this movie opposite Jason Bateman, who himself happens to be, you know, a really good comedic actor too. You know, this dynamic duo here, you know, it's really funny just to see how they kind of play off of each other. And basically the storyline is, you know, Melissa McCarthy plays this person who steals people's identity, and, you know, and goes on shopping spree, spending, you know, all the other person's money. And on this one occasion, she happens to steal Jason Bateman's identity, steals his credit card information, starts spending stuff, and when he finds out that, you know, she's responsible for him being into so much debt, he goes after her to try to bring her in so that, you know, she can explain everything that's going on, to kind of clear his name. And that's basically where all the fun begins, you know, because it ends up turning into pretty much, you know, a road trip film along the way too, and that just kind of adds, you know, the other dimension of comedic enjoyment that I found is watching this film. You know, not just, you know, watching how they interact with each other, but just how they go about trying to outwit each other, in terms of, you know, Jason Bateman trying to get her to come with him, and, you know, Melissa McCarthy's character trying to escape from, you know, his pursuit, you know, and as well as, you know, trying to evade other pursuers that are after them as well. So overall, I really enjoyed this movie, when I saw it in theaters, and now that I watched it again, on Blu-ray, I enjoyed it a lot more. I kind of noticed a bunch of other subtle things that I didn't notice the first time around. So I definitely recommend Identity Thief as a great comedic film for everyone to watch. It's got a lot of stuff in it, so definitely recommend Identity Thief. The next film I have to show is Jersey Girl with Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler, I forgot, Jason Biggs and George Carlin. I remember I saw this movie on cable a couple of years ago, and I thought that the one aspect of this film which I thought really kind of like just made it for me was basically the little girl that plays Ben Affleck, and at the beginning, at least for the beginning of the film, Jennifer Lopez's daughter, because Jennifer Lopez kind of dies at the beginning, giving birth to the daughter. So that's the only thing hopefully I'll give away in terms of the story, of this film. Other than that, I thought the little girl was absolutely adorable. She was cute, and you can, when you look at her, you can see that she has a striking resemblance to what I would consider to be a kid Jennifer Lopez in a way. I mean, she has a lot of things that just kind of reminds me a lot of Jennifer Lopez too, and basically it's about Ben Affleck, living in Jersey, trying to get his life back together because he used to be some big, I believe, like media attorney or a publicist in New York, and when his wife Jennifer Lopez dies, she gives birth to their daughter, and he moves back to New Jersey because of some circumstances that happen, which I'm not going to say if you haven't seen it yet. Moves back to Jersey with his father, who's played by George Carlin, and he's trying to get his life back together again, at the same time trying to raise his daughter. So basically the whole film is about seeing Ben Affleck, transform himself into the role of being a parent, being a father to his young daughter, and all the happenings that come with that. And along the way, he happens to find a new love interest in Liv Tyler's character, and just seeing how that dynamic kind of like further, shapes him into who he will eventually become towards the end of it. So, but overall, I mean, this was a great film. It was really funny. Like I said, the little girl that plays the daughter, she's hilarious and cute and all that. And it's directed by Kevin Smith, who's done Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy. Hey guys, sorry about that. I guess my camera's kind of beginning to die out. The battery's running low, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up as quickly as I can. So basically, Jersey Girl. Check it out, definitely, a lot of fun, all right? The next film that I have to show you is, I don't know why I keep saying that, is the Steelbook edition of Shaun of the Dead. Now, I had this already on DVD, but I wanted to get the Blu-ray version, especially after I found out that I was going to come in this neat looking Steelbook case that has the actual, a kind of like comic bookish depiction of a previous, I believe is the European cover art for the same film. It's pretty cool. Backside Steelbook. For those of you that don't know, Shaun of the Dead basically is a comedic spin-off of, I believe, some of the old Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead films by George A. Romero. And basically it's about the character Shaun, his friend, I believe his Ed, played by Nick Frost, and how Shaun's character is trying to get his girlfriend back, and in the midst of all this, zombies appear. A zombie outbreak happens in London, and he's trying to get to his girlfriend. At the same time, he's trying to get, avoid zombies, trying to keep his close friends and family together, but things just go left and right. But it's just hilarious, everything that happens. I mean, it's a romantic comedy mixed in with zombies. I believe, I read somewhere that I think they were calling it a zombie, I believe, like a zombie comedy or a rozombie or something like that. I don't know, it's weird, but it is basically, it's a romantic comedy but with zombies. And I mean, I've kind of gotten to like Simon Pegg and Nick Frost as characters. They're hilarious when they play off of each other, and everybody else does a great job as well, playing their roles. Again, lots of funny parts. There's some really good moments, you know, where you kind of feel maybe just a tad bit teary-eyed, you know, when when certain things happen to some of the characters. But overall, it's a great film. You know, I love zombie movies, so of course I just had to add this to my collection as well. So definitely no surprise there, right? Shaun of the Dead, guys, on Blu-ray DVD combo pack, steel book set. Definitely check it out. Get it if you can. The last film that I have to show you is also a zombie film, and it is Warm Bodies. Now, I have to say this one also kind of falls along the genre of a romantic comedy as well, with zombies. So it kind of has a similar flavor to Shaun of the Dead. It has its funny moments, it has its tender moments, it does have its, you know, really scary parts, and parts where you kind of maybe get just a tad bit sentimental. But I think the one striking thing about this film is that I really liked it for the story. You know, like I really cared about these characters. Like I was really surprised at just how much I really enjoyed this movie, especially, you know, just being like one of those like teen romantic comedy films, because essentially that's what it is. You know, it's just basically teens, like a romantic teen comedy, which is based off a book I believe with the same name called Warm Bodies. Which at one point I remember when I went into a bookstore and I think I saw this book there, and I picked it up. I read the back cover, so I got an idea of what the story was about. And I was kind of interested, but for some reason just didn't get around to actually picking it up so I can read it myself. So then when I found out that the movie was being made, I was like, oh my goodness, I saw that in the bookstore and I didn't buy it, you know. And now that I've actually, you know, saw the actual movie version, you know, I really enjoyed it. I have to say that I really enjoyed this one, you know. I mean, it just seemed to kind of like hit me at all parts, you know, in terms of just the romantic aspect, the comedy, you know, the human emotion aspect element of it, the kind of like bit father-daughter dynamic that's behind it too. Again, the rebellious daughter trying to go up against the father, you know, and the zombies, you know, and again, just the fact that this is essentially a zombie movie that's being told from the perspective of a zombie. I don't think I've ever seen that before, at least on film. I mean, in terms of fiction, yeah, I've seen it several times. I think I've even written something from that perspective, you know, but actually, you know, from a film perspective, I've never seen something like that before. So it was a nice change of pace to see that, you know, and just seeing what a zombie actually goes through as they're wandering around aimlessly looking for food, you know, their thoughts, their ideas, you know, their desires, you know, from this one zombie called R, you know. So I mean, I just loved all of that, and it just kind of really made the movie come together so much better for me, you know. And I definitely say check out Warm Bodies if you haven't done it. You know, it's definitely worth a view. So absolutely check it out, take it, love it. All right, guys. So that's pretty much all I have for this particular video for my movie collections update. And I know that it's been taking me longer and longer to come out with these videos. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff that I'm kind of trying to do right now as well, and I guess the other part is I'm getting a little bit lazy, I guess, you know. And you know, I guess just overall, this past month there hasn't been really that much out there that kind of interested me in terms of picking up movie-wise. So it's been kind of slow at that end, at least for me. I know other people just buy anything, which is cool. That's cool, you know. But I might change the format a little bit later on for future videos. I'm not sure yet, but I'll definitely let you guys know that. In the meantime, suscribe a mi canal in YouTube, okay? And like my videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Later, guys. Movie, and Godzilla still plays the enemy, and the only difference, of course, is that he actually takes on another monster here in the form of Anguirus, which is basically the porcupine-ish monster that Godzilla, you know, you usually see in other Godzilla films. The one thing that I like about this movie is basically the portrayal of Anguirus. Basically, here he's no holds bar. Basically goes into a fight, you know, and pretty much stands toe to toe against Godzilla. Where in later movies, when you end up seeing Anguirus, solamente 2 o 3 semanas, tal vez serán más ya ahora, no estoy seguro. Y bueno, aquí tengo otro nuevo colección de películas que acabo de ver y voy a compartir con ustedes. Okay, so aquí estamos y vamos a comenzar. Yeah, I got you guys. I hope I did at least. Anyway, like I said, if you understood my Spanish, well then you basically know what I'm about getting right. Anyway, guys, enjoy, and I'll see you, I guess, towards the end, maybe, or I'm just gonna continue from there. I have no idea. And the first one that I have to show you basically is Godzilla Raids Again. Alright. I believe this is the second Godzilla movie that ever came out after the original 1954 Godzilla movie. I believe it's 1954. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that I'm not. Anyway, so this is basically, you can consider the sequel to that original Godzilla. Hola YouTube y a todos que están aquí viendo mi canal. Y para ustedes que no era su intención llegar aquí, pero se encuentran aquí en mi canal, bueno, gracias, bienvenidos y acompáñame. Que tengo, bueno, aquí estoy para mi nuevo video que es parte de mi serie Movie Collections Update para el mes de junio. Y creo que ya eran hace 2 o 3 semanas desde que puse mi último video. Y bueno, creo que es el 2 anyway. So here's my new Movie Collections Update video for the month of June. Little thing that I want to point out is that I'm wearing, you know, this white shirt with the blue collar rim on it, but the actual video I'm wearing a different shirt because I've actually recorded this video before, and I'm looking at it again. I didn't like the introduction that I started out with, so I kind of am doing the introduction again. So this is basically what it is. So you can have, like, you know, me wearing 2 different shirts, but anyway, I don't care. It's my Movie Collections Update video, so whatever. All right.